What's happening, people? I'm what you need, and we in the building. Scruffy, scruffy. Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney for the undisputed championship of the world. We already know, and even Eddie Hearn vocalized it, and I did a video on it, nice succinct video that set to let everybody know what's up. Um, and I'm just gonna be doing a couple of things while I'm talking here. Teofimo Lopez is not undisputed champion, and I think almost everybody who knows their stuff in boxing recognizes this. Let me open this up here. Yeah, he is not undisputed, but here's the thing: facing Devin Haney for the undisputed championship of the world, would love to see that. Looks like if Teofimo Lopez truly wants to be seen as undisputed, not WBC recommended as undisputed, but actually universally recognized as being undisputed by the Ring Magazine as well as by the WBO and IBF, he's going to have to face the WBC champion, which at this point in time is Devin Haney. That's just how it goes. And these are facts. The WBO and the IBF do not recognize Teofimo Lopez franchise championship belt. They don't recognize it because the WBC has said that the franchise champion actually doesn't have a belt. You're not fighting for a franchise championship. You are designated or awarded this thing. Now, let me say a couple things about the franchise championship again that I did not mention in the other succinct videos that I did, because videos just cover 1 minute. And I'm coming out with another video very soon concerning Vasily Lomachenko and his accomplishments and how rare and why he was on the pound for pound list and why he was so high up the pound for pound list. And I make a very good case, a very good argument for why that was so. So I will be talking to you guys about that very soon. This is my grandfather's hat. It's a little bit smashed and damaged in different places, but try to keep it old school on you guys. My head's so big that it's not fitting in the hat properly, but that's a little old school look. It's a little bit scrappy, but I don't mind. Keep it a little scrappy for the moment. Anyways, man, let me very quickly tell you guys another point about the franchise championship that we didn't really actually discuss or talk about concerning Devin Haney and Lopez. Okay. One of the things I noticed is you could actually, as a champion, you could request the franchise championship. Request it. That's some bullshit. Why is it that this thing needs to be requested? Right? I'm trying to show you the bullshit that the WBC did with this particular aspect of thing called the franchise championship. How they did not think through their situation. Not only do they not have criteria for it, it's just based on an elite fighter now being given this designation, but the promotional companies and the fighters can request it. Whoever requests an award. That's like me saying, "Hey, man, I'm a great actor. I want to request the Oscar award." I thought it was based on meritocracy. So meritocracy is not even in the equation. All you got to be now is an elite fighter, do one good thing, and then request the franchise title. That's ridiculous. And that's why I said the franchise title, and I'm going to maintain it, and I think a lot of people see it the way how I see it, is simply a designation to allow for corruption. I hold no bounds for corruption and also for nepotism or cronyism. Okay? That's all that title is there for. It serves no purpose. It's not well defined at all. And it arbitrarily can be given to whoever the WBC so wish to give once they request it. And you have to request it. So I've never heard of anything like that. In the history of boxing, I've never heard of someone requesting a championship status, requesting being a particular kind of champion. Never heard of it. Okay? You cannot request a championship status. All right? The WBA is very clear on what their super champion is. It's based on meritocracy, it's based on two criteria. The franchise championship has no specific criteria under which you get, and you can request it as a champion. So for me, I think it's baloney, and I think that Bob Arum, the promoter of Teofimo Lopez, I think that Bob Arum actually requested. Excuse me. He just requested this championship, and it's baloney. So nobody respects the franchise championship who's worth their salt in the boxing business. Neither the ring, nor the WBO, nor the IBF. I think the WBA still holds Vasily Lomachenko as the WBC champion. They say WBC champion, so maybe they have to update their stuff. But no one is holding. They don't have Teofimo Lopez. BoxRec doesn't have it either, but BoxRec is an unofficial boxing group. But nonetheless, these major boxing groups would have made amendments. And the Ring magazine has come out clear, the Bible of boxing, and is not awarded. In fact, Devin Haney is the WBC champion. So what Teofimo Lopez did was a great unification against a great champion in Vasily Lomachenko, and I understand the principle behind it, that Vasily Lomachenko should have been the WBC champion, or Devin Haney should have been, because Teofimo Lopez was supposed to face Devin Haney. Or Teofimo Lopez, because he was going, Vasily Lomachenko, because he's going into unification, should have asked the WBC to waive his mandatory to go into facing Richard Comey. But that's because the promotional company, or the Richard Comey Teofimo Lopez winner, because Bob Arum dropped the ball on that. What should have happened was Bob Arum should have said that requested early enough that, but because it was so far out, he could have faced Devin Haney first as his mandatory, and then proceeded next to face the winner of Teofimo Lopez, Richard Comey. But Lomachenko did not want to do that, and so in so doing, he got an out by getting the franchise championship, which I still consider a ducking belt, because why did they just bring this into being? Okay, they brought it into being because Canelo Alvarez, who's the popular number one fighter in the world, wanted not to face Jamal Charlo. That's the reason why this belt just conveniently came into the equation all of a sudden, right? Because Golden Boy does not want Canelo to face Jamal Charlo. Now Golden Boy is talking about, oh, we're so excited to see him face Jamal Charlo. Okay, now they're changing their tune. But before that, that's why we heard Canelo and his team and Golden Boy requested the franchise champion. You're not supposed to request a championship. You're not supposed to request you based on unifications, or based on how many defenses you've had as a champion. And that's where the WBA is very specific on what happens. So you can't say that they're partial or anything. They're very transparent on how their process works. So you can't be mad at the WBA. But with respect to the WBC, they're just arbitrarily giving this because the fighter requests it. You shouldn't be able, the fighter should never have to be able to request something, because then if the fighter requests it, it shows that it's an out for that fighter for whatever reason. It may not be that the fighter is requesting it as an out, but in this case, the only reason you would request is because you want to avoid facing your mandatory. That's the absolute reason. So the WBC is doing something that's horrendous, and the boxing community is saying we do not accept that. And it doesn't matter if it's coming from the WBC or not. And that's for you, Showbiz, the adult. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the WBC or not. If the community does not respect what the WBC is doing because they're trying to make a unilateral move instead of a multilateral move, it will not be recognized. And the community does not care if it is the WBC or not proposing it. If it is a crappy designation, it will be treated as such and will not be respected. Okay, so you can't pull that kind of fast move on the boxing community. And we're talking about the reputable pillars of the boxing community. Um, they do not recognize nor respect it. So when Bob Arum's talking about, you know, he's talking about Teofimo Lopez having a really good matchups with Ryan Garcia and Tank. No one cares to see that. No one cares to see that. What everyone would love to see is Teofimo Lopez become the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. And to do that, he really will be tested. He has to go through a real test, which would be Devin Haney. That would be his real test. Because everybody knows Devin Haney has great, not good, great training from great trainers in Las Vegas. Teofimo Lopez knows this. But even though Teofimo Lopez, he ain't no slacker himself, okay? And I think, well, I don't know. But what I can say is Teofimo Lopez, he's not no slacker. He's a great titan in and of himself. And Lopez been talking the talk, and can he back it up? Is he and his father ready to back that stuff up? Okay. Now, he could lead the division as a unified champion. You know, unified champion. He could leave the division as a unified champion if he wanted to. You know. And move up to 140 and face Devin Haney at a higher weight. I'm not going to be mad at him. But here's my thing. Okay? He ain't undisputed. And anybody saying he is, listen, you know me. I'm a boxing fan. This has nothing to do with whether I like Teofimo Lopez or not. It has nothing to do with whether I'm a WBC advocate or not. I am, by the way. I like the WBC. I like what they're doing. And there are many different, I don't hate Mauricio Sullivan. I don't hate what they're trying to do and the initiatives and stuff, but they're not thinking things through. And if you do something, I have to be critical of it. If you do something that, I don't care who you are. You can be Manny Pacquiao, you can be Floyd Mayweather, you can be who you are. I'm going to call you out on it if it's bullshit. Right? I'm a fan. I don't hate nobody. I want to see boxing do well. But Teofimo Lopez is not undisputed. Okay? And Eddie Hearn even spoke to this. And Bob Arum trying to, again, make his fighter duck. Bob Arum has always been the guy who really, when push comes to shove, sorry about that, folks. He advocates for his fighters ducking. I'm not into that stuff, okay? I'm not into fighters ducking. Or promoters coming in and saying, that's why nobody respect Tank Davis. That's why nobody respect the Leo Santa Cruz fight. Because what? Mayweather didn't want Tank to face Lomachenko because he didn't think he was ready for Lomachenko. That's the truth. And to be honest, I don't think Tank was ready for Lomachenko either. Not the way how he was in condition. Lomachenko has superior conditioning to Tank. I think he would have beaten Tank now I think about it. Especially how Tank performed against Yurkus Gamboa. He didn't have the kind of power anyway to take out Lomachenko. And Mayweather was smart enough to test Tank out in those higher waters. And I said, nah, you need to go back down to 130. Leo's a big name. You ain't going to face Berchel, none of them dudes. You going to first face Leo. You get past Leo, if you do. And Mayweather's nervous about him getting past Leo. Everybody talk about Lee was a bantamweight. He this small guy. I even listened to my father in boxing, coach Barry Robinson, and he's saying, you know, that's a fight which Tank can win and so on. Listen, he ain't guaranteed to get past Leo. That's the first thing. A lot of people don't understand. Leo asked for that fight. Leo ain't gonna ask for a fight where he think he gonna get his ass whooping. I'm gonna tell you why Leo asked for that fight. When have you ever seen Leo get dropped in boxing? Who has ever dropped Leo? Think about what I'm saying now, because this is serious. Y'all don't understand boxing. I'm gonna tell y'all something about boxing. When have you ever seen Leo get dropped in a fight? He's never been dropped. He's never been stopped. He's lost one fight, and that was against Carl Frampton. Hell of a fighter, hell of a boxer. So what am I saying? I'm saying this. I'm saying Leo Santa Cruz prepares for fights very, very well. He and his team are experienced in facing high caliber opponents. Fucking power ain't doing shit to Leo. I'm gonna tell y'all that now. Tank's power. If he thinks he's gonna win this fight off his power, fuck no. He's not gonna win this fight off his power. I said it here. I said it now. Leo has superior conditioning to Tank. Period. Period. His body has been trained. His body has been disciplined in a particular manner. That alone gives Leo a tremendous advantage over Tank. Tank's going into that fight because he's been so indisciplined. He's not going to have the superior conditioning. That's 2 strikes against Tank, 2 strikes for Leo. 3. Most important, Leo got them fundamentals down in boxing. He's a fundamentally sound boxer. That shit. Tank is the same, but the difference is Tank is not consistent in terms of his. In fact, Tank is gifted. Tank got them fast twitch. Tank got those angles down packed. Tank got that sharp explosiveness. That's what makes Tank what Tank is. It's not his power. It's his explosiveness. He's very extremely explosive. And he's like an ambush fighter. Once he figures that crack in the hole, he goes for it. I can guarantee you this. Leo's not a guy that Tank's just going to get out of there. Leo belongs in the ring with Tank, and he's going to prove it. And everybody knows who's in Tank's team, this is going to be Tank's toughest test. Because if Tank can't get past Leo, he can't get past Lomachenko. I want y'all to understand that. And I picked Tank to beat Lomachenko. He one of them young guns, I think, but he is the weakest link in all the young guns, and y'all can't see it. Work ethic. Work ethic makes you stronger. I don't care how skilled, I don't care how explosive, I don't care how entertaining you are. Your work ethic is what really makes you better than other guys. Lomachenko proved it against Teofimo Lopez. Lomachenko proved it against Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo was a hell of a fighter, hell of a puncher. Couldn't get Lomachenko out of there, though. He couldn't get Loma out of there, though. And Loma is supposedly the smaller guy. Well-conditioned athlete. Lomachenko's a well-conditioned athlete. You know, day after day, every fucking day. Training. Committed. Dedicated. See, that's why I said Loma is a bad motherfucker. I don't know what y'all talking about. He ain't on no pound for pound. He may not have been pound for pound #1 in the world. But I can make a case for him. And my next video, when I come up with my next video, I'm going to show y'all why this guy deserves to be where he's at. I have another video coming. I'm going to show y'all why Lomachenko, he wasn't overhyped. But I'm going to say this. The reasons that they gave for him being what he was, because he is a real one. Lomachenko's a real one. He ain't no Gennady Golovkin. He ain't no Sergey Kovalev. He's a real one. He a real one. Y'all don't. Anyway, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down for concerning Lomachenko, because a lot of people really. I see people shitting on Lomachenko. I told you he's great. I didn't say he was good. I said he's great. He's a great fighter, and I don't have to like his attitude to see the facts of the matter. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I told you I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I don't lie. I don't lie. This is not about race for me. This is not about, look, no. He was overhyped by ESPN. No doubt about that. No diggity, no doubt. But the shit he did so far in his career, listen, if I got to send a message to Lomachenko, this is my message to you, brother. You keep on fighting. But go back to the drawing board and improve your game. Throw little nuances, little things into your game so people can't read you as well. The Teofimo Lopez, remember you early in your pro career, bro. And you not old. You 32 years old. You young. You young. You kept that body in good shape. You kept that body in incredible conditioning. But here's my thing to Lomachenko. True champions can take a loss, brother. So if you took a loss there, it was bitter, it was hard, it was difficult. This is what I got to say to you, Lomachenko. If you ever see this video from a guy living in the Caribbean, that's what I got to say to you, brother. I'm still a fan. Fuck it. I'm still a fan of you. I watch tape on you. I watch video on you, and you're brilliant. But here's my thing. Acknowledge the loss. Take it. I'm gonna tell you why. You a winner, and you're gonna continue to win. But winners sometimes need to modify a couple things. You came back in that fight and you showed me the heart of a true champion. You actually fought. A lot of people say, oh, he didn't fight enough. Listen, man, you was trying to get him out of there. You fought. We saw it. You just need to refine it a bit. You need to tweak some things. You need to tweak some of your game. You just need to fine tune and tweak some of your game. And if you go down to 130, which is your more appropriate weight, almost everybody can dominate in that division. But it's up to you. If you want to go straight at the top dog, which will be Shakur Stevenson, get at him and get your get back. Go for it. Right? Shakur Stevenson. That's the top dog. But everybody else I could think of, except for Tank and Leo. I mean, I might be wrong. You might beat Tank. You know, you might have him for dinner. And Leo, I mean, shit. That would be a good fight too. You and Leo, it would be a fucking good fight. Fucking good fight. And listen, I don't care who wins. Just give us a good fight. Give us a good fight. Because every time I see your name on that resume, your name is and you get the win, you get the dub against another fucking champion with another championship fight, it's the more you etch your name into history, Lomachenko. Now, you a winner. After you lost to Lando Salido, you just kept winning. You're a winner. You're a winner. I know your desire and your drive to win. Keep it. Keep that fire. It should be flaming. When Jermell Charlo lost to Tony Harrison, it just made him more insane. You're a winner. Now, even Jermell Charlo never acknowledged his loss, which he should have done to Tony Harrison, because Tony Harrison beat his ass. He beat him. And you should be better than Jermell. You should be better than Deontay Wilder. Nobody wants to lose, but it happens. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. Fuck it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change who you are as a winner. It doesn't change. It should motivate you to win even more. That's real talk. Losers quit. If you quit, if you give up, that's when, Lomachenko, you're a loser. But you're a winner if you keep on pressing on and still want that dub even more, because you feel that you won. And you want to make it clear that you won. So that's what Floyd did when he lost in the Olympics. It only fueled more of a fire in him. And when he took that work from Paul Spadafora, he knew, oh no, man, I gotta up my game. I gotta be ready at all times. That's why the motherfucker be pulling people out to spar with him 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 4 a.m. He just call you out your bed. Because guess what? You gotta be ready at all times. All times. No fucking excuses. All times. And if you got that desire to win and be great, which you already accomplished a lot, but don't sit down on your laurels now, because these motherfuckers ain't gonna give you nothing. You see what they saying about you. They're not gonna give you nothing. Nobody's gonna give you. In fact, they harder on motherfuckers now. How the fuck? Seriously, no f bombs. Let me clean up myself here for a minute, cause I'll be cussing like crazy. But how? No, seriously, how on earth a guy gets into boxing? His first fight is a qualifier for a championship fight. He fights for a partial championship. And every single fight after that has been a championship fight. How in the hell a guy like that is overrated? I'm sorry, not overrated. He's a fraud. Come on, people. Y'all gotta be tripping on me. Out of all the fighters I've ever seen, ain't nobody done that. No one. I don't care what excuse y'all make, favoritism, whatever. Nobody in the history of the sport of boxing has ever been matched that tough. Ever. Ever. And won. And won most of those fights. And won. Was competitive. Oh, no, man. No. Y'all don't do him like that. Don't do Loma like that, man. Come on now. He's not a great fighter. He shouldn't be on the pound for pound list. No, the crazy stuff that Teddy Atlas be saying and Max Kellerman be saying, well, Max Kellerman's not talking that, but that a little bit crazy. Like, Teofimo Lopez should be ranked lower than Loma on the pound for pound list. No, homie. No, you can't do that. I'm going to tell you why. Loma comes off the pound for pound list very easily because he has still had few fights. He's still not fully into his pro career, so he fell off the pound for pound list. He takes a deep fall like Chocolatito did. Chocolatito is a 5-divisional world champion. Y'all tripping. Period. Okay? So that's the reason why he may fall off but very easily he could jump back on the pound for pound list. You see, if he had a lot more fights, it'd be hard for him to fall off because the percentage of wins to losses and in the top tier, that's why. But because his resume is so concentrated, like he don't have no stay busy fights in his career. None. He been matched tough every time. All right? The standard's so high for Lomachenko, and y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand how good this guy is and how good this guy was. He all-time great already. Like I said, he in the top 250, and that's a big props to him. And a lot of people laughing when I say top 250. Y'all don't understand. There are a lot of great fighters in the history of boxing. A lot of great fighters. So when I say top 250, we're talking about that out of 10,000, 15,000, good fighters. There's a lot of great fighters in boxing. That's what people don't understand. When we talk about the top 20, that's the top 20 out of 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 fighters who were good in the history of boxing. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So when you say top 10, top 5, that's really where the air is rare. Now, in this era, he was and he did belong in the top 5, pound for pound. Lomachenko did belong in the top 5 pound for pound. For real. All right? When he beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, I'm going to say it again. When he beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, that took him way up. And in fact, I even myself said, he pound for pound number 1 now. When he beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, I think Floyd wasn't in the equation at the time, right? That's where he shot up. Guillermo Rigondeaux, y'all don't understand. Guillermo Rigondeaux is not a guy people want to face. Even to this day, he's the WBA regular champion, the secondary champion to Naoya Inoue, who's the super champion. Ain't nobody hunting, all hunting heavy to face Guillermo Rigondeaux, even to this day. To this day, after Lomachenko beat him, still nobody want to face Guillermo Rigondeaux. He probably one of the most avoided fighters in the history of boxing. One of them. Okay? Lomachenko confused him. Made him quit. Y'all don't understand. And don't tell me about size. Don't tell me about size. He signed the thing. He went into the ring. Guillermo Rigondeaux has sparred middleweights. He's, sparred and dazzled them. So don't tell me about size. Okay? If it was all about size, he wouldn't get in the ring with Lomachenko. Lomachenko was his size would have been if Lomachenko put his weight on him and stuff, and even if Rigo couldn't hit him with sharp shots and really get him to respect his power, which is what y'all would say about size, which I disagree with because Loma had very good defense. I just truly believe that Guillermo Rigondeaux realized this guy's outskilling me. He's giving me those angles and stuff that I just can't deal with. Because Guillermo Rigondeaux, even though he fights outside the pocket, he's still on the fringe of the pocket, and he don't move his feet that much. Very economical with his feet, and he didn't know how to handle the way how Lomachenko was sidestepping him. Okay, so that's fact. That's skill for skill. Lomachenko outskilled Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's what happened. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like Guillermo Rigondeaux or not, I'm a big Guillermo Rigondeaux fan. To this day, I'm a big Guillermo Rigondeaux fan. I don't hear much about him, and the other guy I'm a big fan of is Nicholas the Axeman Walters, man. That man used to go through everybody. He went through Dalchinian, he went through Donaire. He dominated. He was like the top, I think it was featherweight. He moved up to super featherweight after the face. Was he super featherweight? I can't remember which one it was. But he was dominant, faced Lomachenko, and Lomachenko did a number on him, sidestepping and moving around. I thought Axeman was going to give him problems because his reach and height, and that's where I showed you guys like Pacquiao, Lomachenko, they nullify height and reach by sidestepping you, by slipping to the outside, by pivoting around you. That's what Lomachenko's good at, pivoting around you. That's his thing, his bread and butter. He could also come down straight down the center like he showed against Teofimo Lopez. You throw a feint or so and then come in through the center. But for the most part, he works around you. That's his great thing. You know what I'm saying? That's Lomachenko, man. You can't take those fights away from him. I don't care what excuses. I heard a lot of people make excuses. Oh, no, Luanchas was protesting. That's why he stopped. No. Lomachenko was going about to stop his ass, and he said, "Oh, I want no more." Guillermo Rigondeaux is the same thing. That's why they call him Nomaschenko. And y'all could talk about how so much layoff and all of that. Listen, man, they fought. The ring tells the truth. They fought. Whether he was rusty or not, I don't think it would have changed because his footwork couldn't match Lomachenko's footwork. Nicholas Walters. And Guillermo Rigondeaux, as much as he was doing his little spin thing and stuff to try and find Lomachenko, his footwork couldn't match Lomachenko's footwork. He couldn't nullify it. And Lomachenko did a number on his ass. He did a number on his ass. He looked great. It is what it is. And we need to be honest about it. Especially when fighters fight and you get a certain result. I think me as a fan, I need to stop making excuses for why this fighter lost to another fighter. They fought. And this fight, unless it's clearly a universal robbery. You know what I mean? So anyway, you can't knock that. He beat Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah, Guillermo Rigondeaux had to jump up from super bantamweight all the way up to super featherweight to face him. But nonetheless, he beat him. All right? He beat him. You can't, what are you going to say? It's on record. And he out-schooled him. He out-boxed him. He out-moved him. So it's pretty, I remember I said, everybody else was making excuses about Guillermo. I was like, nah, man, I'm wrong, man. I was just wrong about that fight. I was just wrong. Lomachenko's all that. And I was feeling bitter, but I had to eat my crow because I knew the ring told the truth. And there's nothing I can do about it. And even if Gary Reagan was to face Vasily Lomachenko right now, he get beat. Well, obviously Lomachenko's so much bigger than him now. But it's just what it is. You run it back, he gonna get beat again. It could be a bantamweight, he's still gonna get beat. All right. It's just the way how it is. Styles make fights. And so this man needs to get his props. Let me explain to you guys. I'm gonna say a couple things about Lomachenko, and then I'm gonna leave him alone. And when I first recognized him, when I first saw him, I think I first saw him against Gary Russell Jr. He beat Gary Russell Jr. He beat him. It was a close fight. Don't get me wrong. Gary Russell Jr. did come back. And yes, he didn't get the knockdown, so it could have been a draw. All right, but at the end of the day, Gary Russell Jr. had all that speed, and Lomachenko was able to offset that speed by turning Gary Russell. He turned him, and Gary Russell has fast hands, even has fast feet, but it's in one straight direction. He's not quick at turning. You see how Teofimo, you see how quick he was at turning and finding the angle in Lomachenko? Because Gary Russell didn't know exactly how to deal with Lomachenko coming off those angles, going weak side on him. For southpaw, that is when Lomachenko goes to his left, he's able to get past and slip Gary Russell's jab, and Gary Russell will turn too late. So Gary Russell, and because Gary Russell doesn't use the lead hand a particular kind of way. When you use the lead hand a particular kind of way, Gary Russell was just all speed. He got good boxing IQ, but he's all speed. So when you just throwing that, Mildred Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez, again, Mildred Taylor did not use the lead hand properly in that fight. If you use the lead hand properly, see, I'm breaking down from a scientific perspective. I give y'all game. I give y'all a game plan. Mildred Taylor didn't have to throw all these punches. That was unnecessary. He just needed to use the lead hand properly to, as we say, control Julio Cesar Chavez. He did not control Julio Cesar Chavez. He was dominating in terms of punches landed. He was winning rounds. He was banking rounds, but he did not control. Julio Cesar Chavez. Using the lead hand to control your opponent is totally different to just throwing a bunch of punches. So what happened was Mildred Taylor should have fought the fight not on the inside, which is what Chavez made it, but he should have fought that fight more from the outside and at mid-range, where he could use the lead hand to control Julio Cesar Chavez and get the angles that he needed. That fight, the momentum of that fight swung into Chavez's favor from rounds 8 onwards, because Chavez was actually doing the smarter thing, getting under the punches and getting into range where he wanted to steal body shots and come over the top of the right hand, which eventually, coming over the top of the right hand, sort of like a pull count almost, he was able to knock down Mildred Taylor and so win the fight. But he was breaking down Mildred Taylor as the fight went along. He wasn't winning rounds. He wasn't banking rounds because the judges wasn't watching all the body work and the head work he was doing. But it looked more neck and neck. But he was actually the more effective fighter in that fight. And so actually, Richard Steele actually gave it to the right person, Julio Cesar Chavez, who won the fight. When you really think about it. Now, he wasn't winning rounds, but he was doing, it's like Artur Beterbiev versus Alexander Gvordik. Gvordik was banking rounds, but it was Beterbiev who was actually winning the fight. You see what I'm saying? So when he got the stoppage, he was working at that. It didn't just happen overnight like John Molina versus Mickey Bay. No, it happened over time. You see, he banked those rounds. So anyway, talking more about boxing, because I see some people are just listening to this while they're working and whatever, and I was working and I stopped working. Let me go finish my work. So what I want to tell you guys is that let me switch hats for a minute. Represent. My hair my hair dropped up. Yeah, let me represent for a minute. So see, the thing about it is this, right? In boxing today, a lot of people are beginning to understand the sport, right? But Lomachenko, hell of a fighter, man. I'm gonna tell you some names, and y'all know these were names at the time. Nicholas Walters, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Gary Russell Jr., Jorge Linares. Okay, and it's crazy. This is just 16 fights. Teofimo Lopez, who's unified champion right now. We got Jose Pedraza, switch hitter, inside fighter, outside fighter. You see what he's doing at 140 right now. These are all good fighters. Now the great fighters in that bunch are Guillermo Rigondeaux. We we have we have Gary Russell Jr. He's a great fighter. Not just good, he's great. Um, of course, Orlando Salido. Nobody really thinks of Orlando Salido as a great fighter, but he was great. Mexican warrior, you know, 5-time world champion. People, that's not no slouch. He just never was. He was a hard worker, and he never got the just respect that was due to him. So people call him journeyman and Uber driver. He was no fucking journeyman. He was a top contender, aka champion. He never held on to his title very long, but he always gave you exciting fights. He always gave you close fights. All right. Yeah, okay, Mikey Garcia beat him, stopped him, but he a tough ass for anybody. And Bob Arum matched him up with a really tough, a real one, a tough one, Orlando Salido. A lot of people don't give Orlando Salido the credit that he deserves. They say, oh, he dirty, journeyman, he Uber driver. No, he didn't get the just respect he deserved. He should have gotten a payday. He never got payday for boxing like the other guys were getting, because he was never considered one of the A-side fighters. So in spite of the odds, and I'm going to talk about these fighters too, man, because we need to talk real boxing. In spite of the odds, this man, Orlando Salido, in spite of the odds against him, always being the B-side, right? Never demanding that paycheck. In spite of all the odds, this man accomplished all of that. Now, boxing never gave him nothing. This guy never got nothing. He had to go take it. He had to go upset Juan Manuel Lopez. He the dude that upset, man, Juan Manuel Lopez, the dude who beat Rafael Marquez and all those great fighters at the lower weight classes, at featherweight. Y'all need to know your history, man. Y'all need to know your history about Salido. And if you don't know it, go look it up. The man was a bad motherfucker. He fought Robert Guerrero. He fought Mikey Garcia. He fought a lot of top guys, man. He came up short, but he fought a lot of top guys. Became world champion multiple times. He beat Cristobal Cruz. Cristobal Cruz was something. Not the Cristobal Cruz, the tank face. Cristobal Cruz, who was something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking what y'all go watch the fights. Go watch the fights. And then after you've watched those fights, everybody was talking about, Juan Francisco Estrada versus Carlos Cuadras. Y'all like that fight. Well, go watch those fights. Go watch a Salido fight. It's always exciting. It's always a great fight. Because Salido will make you work. He'll make you work. He'll make you work. Come on, man. Y'all, listen, man. Listen. It's one of those things where fight fans have short memories. You know what I'm going to do? On my channel, I'm going to start running back some fights. Now, I might get flagged for a couple of them. I'm not going to run the whole fight back. I'm going to show you all highlights of some of the best stuff in those fights. I'm going to start running back fights because, honestly, y'all forget so quick. And y'all shit on people. Lomachenko fought a dude that was a seasoned dude who worked his way into stuff. And again, he proved how good he was. Nobody gave him a shot to beat Lomachenko. Lomachenko was the A side. Look how they treat Salido after he got his win. Oh, he was fighting dirty, the referee. But they never gave the guy his props. Shit. They never gave him his props. You know what I mean? Because he was never the A side. You know, it's another guy that they never give his props for. They never give Carlos Molina his props. Carlos Molina from Chicago, the Mexican dude. Now he's in Mexico and he's still fighting up to this day. He ain't getting those big paychecks. You know what I mean? You know who else they don't give their props to? And they definitely don't give their props to. And I don't like it. And blood, sweat, and tears, and he's still in boxing today. I'm going off course. Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney is the topic, really. But you know what, guy, they're going to give props to up to this day. Up to this day. Man, I could tell you stories, but up to this day, they don't give him props. And he been world champion and everything. Jarrett Hurd. They don't give Jarrett Hurd his props. They don't give Jarrett Hurd his props on how how he did something different, give fighters different looks, and mix up and do different things. They say he can't box. But he brings to the table some of the old school stuff that the old school guys was doing. Yeah, he crossed his legs sometimes, but that's what he was doing. He brought something extra to the game. And Jarrett Hurd can box, by the way. They don't give who they don't like or they don't see or they don't back the props that they deserve. That's the thing about boxing I don't like. But is Lomachenko for real? For real, for real? Absolutely. All right. Here are the actual guys who were currently world champions or got stripped just before the fight. Who Lomachenko faced in 16 fights. All right. He faced, and these were actual world champions, not former or anything, right? Orlando Salido was stripped, but he was world champion. When he went in, he lost the fight on the scales. He was super big, right? Then he went on to face Guillermo Rigondeaux, who was the bantamweight champion. When he lost the fight, super bantamweight champion. I think it was WBA. I think it was unified super bantamweight champion. I think he lost. After he lost the fight, he was stripped of his WBA title, some other title. I think it was WBO. Which was wicked. It was mean, but it is what it is. We have he then went on to face Rocky Martinez, who was the super super featherweight. He was the super featherweight champion. He stopped him. Okay, he made Kim Rigondeaux quit. All right. I feel Bob Arum's top rank spited Guillermo Rigondeaux, and they had him stripped and all of that. But he now with Al Heyman, so he gonna be doing okay. And don't worry, Casemiro might face him. You know what I mean? I want to see what Casemiro do against Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux up in age, but Rigondeaux is a real sharpshooter, really good fighter. So that Rigondeaux versus Casemiro is a good fight. Rigondeaux versus anybody is a good fight. And then after he faced Rocky Martinez, he then went on to face Jorge Linares, who was the WBA champion, I believe it was. All right. Then after that, he faced Jose Pedraza. All right. So he faced Orlando Salido. Right. He faced Guillermo Rigondeaux. He faced Rocky Martinez. He faced Jorge Linares. He faced Jose Pedraza, who was the WBO champion at the time for lightweight. Beat him. And then finally he's faced Teofimo Lopez. That's 6 current world champions. Tell me who in boxing has done that, not in 15 fights, in their entire career. How many people have done that in their entire career? Let's look at the pound for pound list. I'm going to show you all some current world champions. Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has had, I think he's had 16 championship fights. So check this out. I'm trying to show you all something. Lomachenko has only had 16 fights in his career, and he has 15 championship fights. Canelo, who has way past 50 fights in his career, has 16 championship fights. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I want you guys to understand the caliber of fighter Lomachenko is. It's not how few the fights is, it's the quality of opposition. It's always been who you face, who you beat. All right, let's continue. How many world champions did Canelo face when he faced them? The first one was Austin Trout, right? No doubt, Mr. No Doubt Trout. Really good, slick southpaw. Great fighter. After he unified Floyd Mayweather, who was the lineal champion at, I believe he was lineal at least. I don't know. I don't think he was lineal, sorry. He became lineal after facing Canelo, right? Lost to him. Who was the next world champion? Erislandy Lara. That's 3. They didn't fight for a championship, but he was the champion. After Erislandy Lara, who did he face after that? Miguel Cotto for the middleweight championship of the world. That's 4. All right. Now, after Miguel Cotto, he fought Liam Smith. That's 5. Okay. Then he fought Triple G. That's 6. I want to show you something. This is 50-something fights, right? Triple G, excuse me. Triple G, that's 6. Then Danny Jacobs, that's 7. Fuck Rucky Fielding. I don't care about that. That's a secondary title. I'm not going to count that. All right. Then he faced Sergey Kovalev. That's 7. He's got one more current world champion than Lomachenko. Now, he only lost 1 of those fights. Lomachenko lost 2. But the point is, look how many champions Lomachenko has faced. Current champions. Let's look at Mayweather. I'm gonna show y'all something, because y'all don't even understand what I'm saying. And Pacquiao. Lomachenko is Mayweather is arguably called the best ever, right? How many world champions, current world champions, he faced in his career? 50 fights. Let's look at it. So he had Gennaro Hernandez, who was a champion. Diego Corrales, who was stripped, but he was a champion, right? IBF champion. You got Jose Luis Castillo, who was a champion. That's 3. Watch me now. Arturo Gatti, that's 4. Zab Judah shouldn't really be a champion, right? So we're going to skip him. Carlos Baldomir, that's 5. Okay. Oscar De La Hoya, that's 6. All right. Ricky Hatton, that's 7. Juan Manuel Marquez, that's 8. Shane Mosley, though he was stripped, that's 9. All right. Ortiz, that's 10. Victor Ortiz. Miguel Cotto, that's 11. Right? Canelo, that's 12. Maidana, that's 13. And Pacquiao, that's 14. He faced 14 world champions. But guess what? If Vasily Lomachenko keeps on the course he's going, I don't think he might run out of champions, though. But he could literally blow past that easy. Easy. Super easy. Okay? Especially if he stays super featherweight and lick up 4 more belts. Maybe get undisputed there. So what I'm trying to say is, Lomachenko cut all the fat out of all them stay busy fights, all them non-championship fights. He went for the toughest guys he could possibly face in whatever division he was at. And at this peak division, he was trying to clean it out. Right? That's his peak division, 135. He probably could make 140, though. He could fight at 140. You know, but because your peak division is a division where you just can't make the weight. You can't make the maximum weight. That's your peak division. I think he could actually do 140. I think he could do 140 because he could come in he could make 140. His peak division probably 147. I don't think he can make 147. I think he come in fight night 145. Something like that. That's really his peak division. But I don't think he got because them guys so long and they so tall, I don't think he feels he he can do it. But hey, if his career is wrapping up and he gets a little bit more experience, if he makes if Lomachenko make like 13, if he makes 30 fights in his career and he just got a plethora of great guys, he just be fighting back to back to back. He gonna be a sure ballot Hall of Famer, man. I don't know if he got 30 fights in him, but he should at least test the waters at 140 before he retires. I know that's a big ass, but he should do it. You know what I mean? He should do it. Um, but it's up to him, It's up to him. But he like I said before, in 16 fights. And he's not the only one. I can show you a couple other fighters who did that. And one of them is Alexander Usyk. I mean, he's undisputed. He became undisputed cruiserweight world champion. He accomplished that, and I believe it was 15 fights as well. All right. And like I said, there's a video coming out with Lomachenko. Trust me, I got a video coming out with you guys, and it's pretty short. I'm going very long on Lomachenko right now, but there's a video that I'm gonna put out that'll show you guys, how many records Lomachenko has broken. He's literally broken some records in boxing. I mean, you know, he's done a lot of things. So a lot of people just don't understand. Like I try to explain to people, I'm not here to say I love a fighter or not. I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether I like the fighter or not. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and that's what a lot of people just don't understand. This channel is not here to play favorites. When I tell y'all I believe that Floyd Mayweather is the best ever, I was never coming from yeah, I'm a fan of Floyd, don't get it wrong, but I'm coming from a factual basis. I'm not coming from no bullshit. I'm not bullshitting nobody. The other people, they're very reactive. A lot of people come from an emotional state. They ain't gonna listen to what I'm saying. When I said Clarissa Shields, she can hang with Terrence Crawford if there was to spar or fight, and she'll at least last 3 rounds with him. A lot of people got emotional because a lot of guys think of boxing as a macho sport, that men are stronger, but strength don't got nothing to do with it. It has to do with your boxing. And if you are a defensive fighter, I'm not saying she wins the rounds. She has decent defense. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to hang with Terrence. For 3 rounds? Fuck yeah. 3 rounds, sure. Absolutely. She's much better fighter than Amir Khan. She's a much better fighter than Amir Khan. She got defense. She actually has defense. You see? And I know Terrence is a switch hitter and all of that, but Carissa, she understands what you have to do against a guy like that. All right? She has sparred Errol Spence. She says he hits hard as fuck, but she has sparred him. And she sparred a lot of guys because she can't get to work with women. So I don't see why Clarissa can't hang with Terrence. I don't see why she can. Now, if he decided to put it on her, he put it on her, but she would last 3 rounds. She would last 3 rounds with the dude. Terrence a beast. Everybody know that. But she would last. I'd see her. I see her hanging there with some of the guys. All right. Now the welterweights is a totally different story. I mean, Terrence is a welterweight. But some of the big welterweights, the really big ones, I don't know how. I still give her 3 rounds. She got boxing. You got boxing skill. If you decide you want to survive and see what their power look like and stuff, if you want to survive in there, there's so many different things you can do. So I don't see why she can't hang. If this is boxing, this is not strongman contest. This is not, I can knock you out with 1 punch contest. That's not what it is. It's boxing. All right, and she's been all the way up to 168. So I can't rule her out. And she be dominant as a woman boxer. And she be sparring guys, and they be putting the work on her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why she can't do it. She has the size, I think, to be able to hang in there with a Terrence Crawford she hold her own. She hold her own against all them guys. And again, I don't see why this is a problem. Like, this is boxing. This is not, that's what a lot of people don't understand, is what you know. If a fighter don't want to go, if a fighter don't want to get stopped, it's hard to stop that. The fighter has to cooperate with you to stop them. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just go in there and blitz a fighter. If the fighter don't want to get blitzed, they have to cooperate with you. You got to trick them into getting knocked out or stopped them or dusted. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand about boxing. And so, like I said, my points of view sometimes seem controversial to the average boxing fan because the average boxing fan don't really think of it in terms of warriors going in the ring. And yes, one warrior may be stronger than another warrior, but your strength don't mean shit if you can't use it to your advantage, right? So when Terrence tries to bully her around the ring, push her around the ring with his physical size and strength, which is what he would have to do to get her out of there in 3, right? And be trying to throw those knife shots on the inside. Remember, Carissa is quick. She's very, very fast. She's nimble. She's very athletic on her feet. So it's not as easy as you guys think it is. Think about it. Carissa walk around what? 160, 168, right? When she's in fighting shape, like right now she's at super welter, she'd be somewhere around 160, 162. Terrence be around the same size, right? So what I'm saying is she in shape though. You see what I'm saying? She's in shape. So in shape, and she always training. So she's going to be tough. She's not going to be no slouch. She's not no y'all put her. She ain't no the African kid that Terrence knocked out. She's not long and lanky and just leaving that defense open like that. You got a split second to pierce her defense. She quick. She know how to distance control. If she want to jab him on the outside, keep him on the outside, keep him on the outside, keep him on the outside, get under it, get under it, keep him on the outside, get under it. You understand? She could go a whole round like that because she can box. She can box. And hopefully Andrea will be giving her the tips that she need to get. So she's not as predictable. Because if she's predictable, you're going to get squashed. Right? So I'm saying she can box. And from what I'm seeing, the more I see her with what's her coach name? I forgot what his name is. Anyway, the coach who was the coach of Kovla, he is he's giving her some gems, and she's working on her game. You know, she's working on the pros because she always had a kind of more amateur style. So she's getting more into the pros, you know, and she's looking better and better. And she's gonna get more game as it comes along. You know what I mean? So I think even Tank is getting more game. You could tell that Floyd's been pouring a lot of his experience and knowledge into Tank, because Tank have more ability than he have more ability. You know, he's more God gifted, I think, than what's the kid name? Devin Haney. I think he's more God gifted than Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney fights more, and he's not as sharp as Tank, and he's not as quick as Tank, explosive as Tank. He also Devin Haney is longer than Tank, so he's more lanky. Like, he's a little bit awkward in what he does. He's sharpening up, but he's not as sharp as Tank. Okay, it's just what it is. But he's a hell of a lot better condition than Tank, and that's the difference. That's the difference. You know, you can tell Devin Haney's dialing. He's focused. He's hungry. You know, he's very focused on what he's doing. I think that's the difference. You know, Tank is not as focused. That was the same problem with Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner, he get dialed in for camp. Even though he training all year round, he dial in for camp. You got to be dialed in all the time. You got to be dialed. Michael Jordan, very competitive guy. Terrence Crawford's kind of like him. Michael Jordan's dialed in all the time. You know what I mean? He just dialed in. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan's competitive all the time. He never switched shit off. He's competitive for everything. He dialed in. And with the young hungry lions, they just need to be dialed in on boxing. You got to stay focused on boxing. You lose your focus for a second. You saw what happened to Tony Harrison versus Jamal Charlo, fighting a great fight. But he wasn't dialed in all the time. He lost that focus for 1 second. That was it. And that's all it takes at the highest level. You see them guys fighting, you don't understand how high level chess these guys are, how much repetition they did, how much they used to that high level. Anyway, back to the original point. Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney would be a hell of a fight. I'm gonna say it now. I call it now. I don't know who would win. I don't know who would win. That's a fight that's going to build up a legendary rivalry, and it will be two legends in the making who will face one another. Devin Haney has just as much a chance as Teofimo Lopez because Lopez has some defensive. He has some defensive flaws in his game. But Haney don't have that kind of resume that Teofimo Lopez has and that championship experience. So, like, if me Teofimo, I take him now. Just like how Floyd took Canelo now. He don't got that ring experience I got and that ring IQ. My best chance to beat him is now. That's why I said Teofimo, he should go straight for Devin Haney now, where it's a 50-50 fight. Later on, it's not going to be like that, So, if I was Tio, I catch him early because later on, the longer you wait, a lot of people are waiting to try and face Demetrius Andrade, and they're waiting for him to slow down and all of that. The longer you wait with Demetrius Andrade, is the harder things going to be for you. And Andrade is only getting better. They're not giving him great competition, but he's working, and he should be working in the background, and he should be getting work from the best in the business, so that when that moment comes, he's ready. And mentally, Andre should be even more ready than he's ever been before. So all they doing is delaying the inevitable. When Andre gets his chance to shine, it don't care. He could be 33, 34, 35 years of age, 36 years of age. He gonna shine. He gonna do the Jersey Joe walkout on y'all ass. Once you give him, he gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready for that moment. So every time they delay, they only delaying the inevitable and making it harder for themselves. Canelo should have faced Demetrius Andrade when he faced him. He had his best chance to beat Demetrius Andrade. He had his best shot to beat Demetrius Andrade right after he had beaten Danny Jacobs. He should have gone straight into that fight, faced Demetrius Andrade. If he got the W on him, it's because Andrade. Now, the only way is to duck Demetrius Andrade permanently for the rest of his career. Because the more he delays that fight, is the more Demetrius Andrade is going to get better. Andrade's not going to get discouraged. He better not get discouraged. He should be in the gym working. Just working. Waiting for that phone call. You know what I'm saying? That's what Andrade need to be doing because he's much more active now than ever before. So it was the wrong move. Similarly with Devin Haney, all they doing is delaying the inevitable. Haney young. Haney's what, 20, 21, 22? He young. He got lots of years ahead of him in the boxing game. So if I was Teofimo Lopez, I'd take that fight now. Fuck Bob Arum, fuck all of them. I'll take it now. My chances. It's 50-50 fight. I just came off a big win. I got to work on my D, though. I got to work on my defense because Haney, you can't have holes in your defense against Haney. Haney going to expose that shit. But Haney still kind of looks one-dimensional in the actual pro fights. So this the time for Teofimo Lopez to go at Devin Haney. If he don't go at Devin Haney now and become undisputed, which is the point. The point here is to become undisputed. Haney got a belt. Get your undisputed title and rock up the road. Now, here's the problem with Lopez. Lopez had to realize if he can make weight or he can't make weight, he got to make up his mind. This is not Lomachenko. This is young, strong, hungry lion wanting to take that and become undisputed himself. So he got to understand, count the cost, decide if he can make that weight and maintain. When he looked at the Lomachenko performance, it was good, but he got to make sure he don't fade down the stretch as well. Because with Haney don't fade. You saw Haney in the fight, which Haney had problems with the guy after he had dropped the guy twice. He damaged his hand, right? He didn't fade for a moment in that fight. He was slugging all the way to the end. So Haney got the energy and Haney got that conditioning where he could just keep on slugging. So the question will be, is Teofimo Lopez ready to roll the die now? Because if he rolls it later on, his chances diminish every single time he puts off a fight like that. He has the absolute opportunity. Will he be like Canelo And will he just leave and move up, move up in weight and duck Devin Haney? I'm not saying he's gonna duck him, but I'm just saying. Or because Canelo had that absolute opportunity to face Demetrius Andrade. What Canelo would have done was made Demetrius Andrade a big name, and he himself would have gotten credibility, especially if he won. If Devin Haney faces Teofimo Lopez, Teofimo Lopez's name is only going to get bigger. That's a big fight, by the way. And Haney gets the credit on his record, win, lose, or draw. So at the end of the day, they're risky fights. No doubt about it. Okay? They're risky fights. But are they worth it? Yes. Because whoever wins those fights, they get one step closer to a big, 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 big payday. I mean, a massive payday. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want about Canelo. He became pound for pound number one. They always say, oh, he didn't beat Floyd. Well, who has beaten Floyd? Who? Well, he got whitewashed. He said he wanted to box Floyd. And so it's a learning experience. So at the end of the day, he didn't get stopped. So what's the point? I mean, at the end of the day, losing is a part of boxing. It happens. There are very few boxers in the boxing who have lost, who haven't lost, and who have won all their fights. All right. But at the end of the day, if you win in all your fights, but you're not facing the best, what use is that? What use is that? You want to have a resume like, what's the kid's name? Wenyan Manyosin, you undefeated off of 54 fights, but you didn't really face the best guys in your division. Is that how you want to go down? You want to go down like what's his name? Sven Otnik. So much and won. He was undefeated for a very long time and he got beat. You want to go like him, but you never really faced the best in your division? Is that how you want to be? If that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be. That's what it seems the media and Bob Arum and all those guys want to do with Teofimo now. He don't need to face the best. He undisputed. No, he's not undisputed. And yes, Devin Haney is one of the best in his division because he's a champion. So you should face him. Now, if you're too big and you want to move up to 140, power to you. But just understand, you're not undisputed. Understand that. The question is, will Teofimo Lopez take the challenge? He done already put Devin Haney's name out there. I feel he might take that challenge. I think he might face Devin Haney. But we got to see. Risk versus reward. They saying Bob Arum is making this talk, and Bob Arum's voice carries weight. He said Devin Haney's not a lucrative fight. Everybody knows Devin Haney is a lucrative fight. The question is, can you make it happen? Can you make it happen? And who knows? That fight could end in a draw. It could end in a Teofimo Lopez domination. It could end in a Devin Haney domination. It could end in a split decision win for either guy. That's a really, listen, for boxing fight fans' dream, that's like a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns. Not in the sense of how the fight went down, necessarily, even though there would be a lot of twos and fro's in that fight. But in the sense of anticipation for something like that. That's a fight fans would dream to see. And to get it, because of Teofimo Lopez saying I don't duck and dodge nobody, and he really means it, and he does it with his dad, shit. What Teofimo Lopez would have done too was he would have ended that franchise championship shit. He would have rejected it and said, listen, I'm going to face this dude. He's the WBC. This is what you guys regard as WBC. I'm going to face him. That's old school. That's old school. That's old school. And I'm going to respect him for it. But that's a 50-50 fight. You know, that's not no easy fight. That's probably the guy that most people dub the best at lightweight. And that would be Devin Haney. So even though, like Terrence Crawford, he don't really got the actual competition, the level of competition to back that up. That's how most people universally think of Devin Haney. He's the best best lightweight in the division. Mightn't be true, but that's how people perceive it. So Haney wanted to smoke. So why not? Why not? Why not? You know what I mean? So what you need in the building, I'm gonna catch you guys later. This was an hour and 50 minutes boxing talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget you can like, share, subscribe, and if you want to, you can donate to my channel via Western Union or MoneyGram. I'm out of here. Peace.